and welcome to the talk show Transfabulous. My name is Rafia. I work in Glad e.V. It's an organization for Black and people of color, lesbian, gays, bisexual, trans, and inter people with migration background. And today I'm moderating this talk show, and we have as a guest Katja Anton Kronauer, who is a queer artist, a translator, and founder of Transfabel. So I will start with the questions. Anton, you have an upcoming exhibition. Can you tell us where and when it will be?
Thank you. The exhibition will be at Sonntagsklubb in Berlin-Friedrichshain. The title of the exhibition is Beyond the Binary Gender System. It will start on July 17th at 7 p.m. will be the opening if you want to join us for that. And the images will be shown until September 16th.
We can also see some pieces that you made. Would you like to explain what is the concept behind it?
Yes, in this exhibition we'll be showing two series of prints. One will be with ducks. Female and male ducks have different colors in their feathers and their beaks. And I use them to combine them so that each of the ducks has female and male features. The second series will be of mythical creatures as they could appear in a fable. So they will be mixed animals that in the German language will have, one of them will have a female article, the other one a male article. So for example, the giraffe pelikan, the giraffe is female, die Giraffe, and the pelikan is male in German, der Pelikan. And those are the mythical creatures that I will also show.
So through these pictures, you're trying to focus on what topic exactly? Being trans or queer or?
Being trans as in this transgender generally, and not fitting the binary system of male and female. Mm-hmm. And so both of them are symbolically challenging that strict binary system.
Yes. And how did you come up with these ideas?
So I often thought that as a child or youth, it would have been helpful if I had books on the topic that don't only show two genders. Mm-hmm. There are still very few books that show transgendered or intersex people. Most children's books are on boys and girls, and it is usually not questioned how strict that is and what limitations are put on the children, and who have to fulfill the expectations that come with the genders that they are assigned at birth. Mm-hmm. So since I've been doing abstract art for about 10 years, I thought I would write a children's book because I like to write stories as well. Mm-hmm. And I would do the illustrations for it myself.
Ah, so these are the illustrations for a children's book?
Yes, I'm showing the illustrations in various exhibitions. I started the book a year ago, and then the first opportunity in Schöneberg came up to show them, which of course slowed me down doing the book a bit because then I had to make them in large prints.
Which language will it be in, this book?
It will be in German for now, though since I'm a translator, I also translate books from English to German. I could see it doing it in English as well.
Okay. So you knew it already in your childhood that you wanted books which are not showing this binary system?
No, I don't think I would say that. Mm-hmm. But I always knew that something I wasn't quite fitting into the stereotypes. Mm-hmm. How, I didn't know. I didn't have the words for it. I didn't have any ideas for it for a long time, actually. Mm-hmm. Even as an adult, I just knew that wasn't working for me. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I was looking for, since I was assigned female gender at birth, I was looking for a male name or a gender-neutral name. Mm-hmm. But since I didn't find one, I just kept it for myself, to myself, until eventually, by coincidence, the name Anton came up. And now I'm using that as the personal name, also with the pronoun he or they in English. But as an artist, I like to use Katja Anton Kronauer, just to show that I don't really fit into either category.
And what was the point where you realized, okay, now you want to bring up this topic to the public, and it's not only your personal issue, you want to come up with it in the society, kind of?
That's difficult to pinpoint down. I guess I've been an activist since my early 20s. When you study, you sort of start doing some first with environmental groups and then with anti-globalization groups at the time. And once I came out more in my personal life as a non-binary person, or genderqueer as I also like to say, I decided that it would be a good idea to use my skills, my artistic skills, and the fact that I like to write stories to bring it out more into the public as well. It's a fable, hence the name Transfabel, combination of transgender and fable, of frogs and toads that are blue and red, but they have to be blue or red. They can't have both colors. So it's a pond full of blue toads and red frogs, and one day there's a blue and red one, which gets attacked. And that frog is, of course, astonished why it's being attacked for who it is, and then leaves his home, goes out and meets all sorts of mythical figures, like the giraffe pelican, and learns that it's not the only animal that doesn't fit the expectations. And from there the story develops until the blue and red frog finds to himself and also is able to be accepted by its old friends.
Would you like to just explain in short what a fable is? Because I myself just got to know this word like 3 or 4 days ago, because someone used it, and I was like, what is it? Is it this fable? So for our audience, just to explain what fable means in
So a fable, or in English fable, usually uses animal figures, whether they are real animals or they can be very imaginative, mythical creatures, to talk about societal issues. As in this case, the colors and the frogs and toads represent the genders. And it makes it simpler, maybe not just for children, but also for adults to deal with an issue. And still afterwards one can think, okay, so what does this story actually mean to our real lives? But it makes it easier to digest it.
Have you shown this work already somewhere? What reactions do you get normally?
I've shown some of the work a year ago in Schöneberg, and the art prints are now hanging in Gießen at a women's cultural center that is opening up to transgender issues. Mostly the reactions to the images are positive. People say they're cute, they're cool, they're intriguing, they like them. They particularly like the technique that I'm using. They have more problems with my name than it's, so what is it now, Katja or Anton? Should I say he or she? But once we get over that and I explain that, they quite like the pictures.
So it's for you, it's a conscious decision to use both of these names to kind of provoke people that they ask these questions?
It is a conscious decision, maybe partly also to provoke and to make the point. I'm not transitioning from one gender to another. I'm just myself, and that works best for me if I use both names.
And how is it for you to answer this? Because I can imagine that you always get this question about, is it tiring, or you do it as a political work, or how is it for you to answer these questions over and over again?
It's a political work. It's more tiring when it's in private context. So if the usual, I go into the women's washroom and I'm kicked out. If I go to the men's washroom, I'm usually not. But then if I raise my voice, I am. So it's more in private context that it is strenuous, that it is stressful, but I also choose to do it to make political points, and then it's totally fine to be asked those questions.
You talked about, said something about the technique of your art. What technique do you use, and how did you develop it?
So I paint the animals with a graphic tablet. I do the outlines and the main features of them on a computer. My mom has been a graphic designer and a painter since her youth, basically. And one day when I visited her, I took photographs of her paintings. And these paintings now I use to underlay my outlines of the animals and give them color and to give them structure. sometimes we exhibit the original paintings alongside the animals, and it's really nice to see where people try to find the comparison. Also, this is how the ducks get its feather-like structure from this painting.
So it is a collaboration then?
Yes, it is not just with my mom, but also with several other people. There's a photographer who has a large inkjet printer of very good quality. So with her, I'm doing the prints, the art prints that I'm then exhibiting, which looks much nicer than I could ever do it at home or if you give it to a photographic studio. And I have more control over it this way. Then there's friends who suggested to me that I put the animals on buttons, on t-shirts. I'm wearing one right now that has a beaverette on it. And to set up a website where I can promote this art alongside with books on the topic of transit inter. And once the web shop is set up, I would also like to invite other queer artists to ask if they want to have their website, their art online on the site.
I have another question about the name, because it says Transfabel Hub, like Transfabulous. How does it connect the word fable and fabulous, Fabel Hub? What's the connection between it?
Okay, so I'll just go back one step. So the name of the website is Transfabel. That's a combination of transgender and fable. And then I use the word play transfabulous because it would be fabulous if we would live in a world where people are accepted to have any gender that they...
Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching the show. That was it with Transfabulous. Stay tuned to our channel and subscribe to the link below. Ciao, ciao.